Okay, this is a reaction video. This is from Girl Gone London. 7 British words I picked up after 10 years in the UK as an American. Well, again, I know we speak the same language. Like telly is television, rubbish is trash, things like that. There's just different words that slang that is used in UK that is not used in the United States and vice versa. But this is Girl Gone London. Please click like, share, and subscribe for her as well as for me. 7 British words I picked up after 10 years in the UK as an American. Well, let's see what this has to do with.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. I feel like I always shout that at you. My name is Kaylin. I'm a dual UK and American citizen, and today we're talking about words that I never used to say before moving to the UK, and British slang words or British words that I still do not use. So we're going to start with the words that I now say relatively frequently living in the UK that I never would have said before. The first one is lovely.
Now, lovely, that's a word we use in the United States quite often. That's lovely. So that's really not maybe you wouldn't use it too much in where you come from in the United States, but that's a word that we use often in the United States.
Everything is now lovely. I would have never used lovely to describe anything in the US. I really can't think of what I would have said lovely about. We just, yes, it's a word, but we just don't use it in the same way as they do in the UK. Here, everything is lovely. Somebody could be described as lovely, oh, she's lovely, or your dress is lovely, or if somebody confirms plans with you, you could say, oh, lovely. Everything is lovely. Everything. So I definitely have picked that up, and I'm trying to think of what, in the U.S.
Again, that's something in the United States we use quite often. I've said lovely before. It's not a big deal to use the word lovely in the United States.
We would say, oh, you look nice, or you look great, or you look amazing. We wouldn't say you look lovely. And if you confirmed plans, instead of saying lovely, see you then, I would say great, awesome, cool. But now everything is lovely.
Yeah, I understand where she's coming from. Maybe not in the context that she uses it in Britain as we use in the United States. But lovely is a word that we use in the United States quite often. So I'm not really that. That's I guess that's something that she does for the way she uses it.
The next thing on my list is the word holiday to mean vacation.
Yeah, again, I holiday and vacation is a word I use to a certain extent. One on holiday and one on vacation. Holiday and vacation are 2 words that I've used quite often in the United States.
I think the reason I say holiday more often now is because Brits I really don't hear anybody saying the word vacation, so it's not holiday is really what people say when it comes to going away somewhere or having a day off or something like that, like a bank holiday. And I think holiday just rolls off the tongue easier than vacation. So I think it's a similar reason why I don't say garbage can anymore and I say bin, because there's something about the sound of the beginning of those words that just are easier with bin and holiday versus vacation, garbage can. It's just easier to say. And so I think I
don't think it really matters one way or the other because they both mean the same thing. But holiday or vacation, I'm going on holiday, going on vacation. Those are things that I've used before. I've used holiday before.
Actually, the most American about this by just choosing the things that are easier and more convenient to say. But I think that's why holiday has now become a word that I will say a lot instead of vacation. The next one is a phrase, sort it out. Let's make sure you sort it out, or I've sorted it. In America, I feel like the word sort is really only for actually sorting through something physical, you sort through the mail.
Yeah, that's something I don't use very often, sort it out. That's definitely very British.
Or I need to sort through the clothes in my closet or something like that. We would say figure it out instead. And so in the UK,
figure it out, straighten it out, That's basically what we'd say. We don't say sort it out.
Sort it out is more the common saying, and that's definitely something that I have picked up. Okay, the next one is give you a ring, meaning give you a call.
Yeah, give you a call, or I'll make a phone call, something like that. I don't know anybody says give you a ring.
We don't really say this in the US. We typically would say give you a call, but it's just another one of those kind of slang phrases I've adopted in the UK. I'd say I have adopted this one a little bit less than some of the others on the list, but if I'm talking to somebody that I'm not super familiar with, there's an Americanism for you, the word super. Some of you mentioned that in my last comment section.
Yeah, that's something we don't, well, I don't say super a whole lot, but I know a lot of people who do.
I am not very familiar with somebody and they are British, but we don't have a really close relationship. Sometimes I will revert to the kind of British phrase just to make it easier. Not that they won't understand me otherwise, but just as a sort of weird, like, cultural thing. So I will, in that instance, say give you a ring. I wouldn't tell, like, my husband that I'll give him a ring. I would then say I'll give you a call because that's more familiar to me, but I do say give you a ring a lot. Does this make any sense what I'm going?
Not really, but I understand what you're saying. Look, give you a ring is something that is definitely very British. It's not something we say, I'll give you a call. That's all we say in the United States, I'll give you a call.
I'm not about. Next one. Have a mooch. Like,
now this is something I do not understand. I've never heard have a mooch. So this is nothing. I'm going to be in London on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So have a mooch. What does have a mooch mean? I do not know.
have a wander around. I wouldn't say this a ton, but people do say it in the UK, and I have adopted it in a couple instances now. So yeah, have a mooch around, kind of with nowhere really to go. Have a look around is what I would have said previously.
Yeah, that makes more sense than have a mooch.
Or meander. Like meander around. The next one is...
mooch. I mean, I don't understand what mooch... Oh, okay. I mean, we speak the same language, but we don't speak the same language.
Pardon me. Now,
pardon me is something that my father used to say to us all the time when he was upset. He would say, pardon me. And that would you know, you were on thin ice with my father. But pardon me is something that we normally... It's something said in the United States, but it has many different connotations.
I feel like... I'm like, where did I pick this up? Do a lot of people here say pardon me, or did I hear that on some, like... Is that just posh people? When I'm at a store, for instance, and someone is in my way, I will sometimes say, excuse me, but a lot of times I'll say, pardon me. That is definitely something I've picked up in the UK. An American, I would never say pardon me in America.
Like I said, my father only said pardon me whenever he was upset and let you know that you were on thin ice with him. Pardon me. That's how my father would do it. But that's probably it. I mean, I don't know anybody else would use pardon me. Maybe on rare occasions, but it would happen on but my father would just go, pardon me. That's how you know you were on thin ice.
Probably because I'm a rude American, but also I would say excuse me. But here somehow I've picked up pardon me. So somebody comment below, this is like a British phrase, right? Other people say this, because now I'm questioning myself as to whether I just came up with this in my head as something I thought British people would say, or whether it's something that I picked up from hearing it a lot. So do you say pardon me, or do you say excuse me? But again, it has to do with the context. So if I'm at the store with somebody that I don't know and I'm not familiar with, I would say pardon me. If I'm with like a friend, even if they're in my way, I would say excuse me. I wouldn't say pardon me, because that would feel too like formal. Next one, the word fab or fabulous.
Yeah, I've heard fab as short for fabulous, but on British TV shows, it's fab. Okay, it's not something an American would ever say. I've never used it in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, that's something that is definitely British.
So, okay, a couple things with this one. The shortening of the word fabulous to fab is not as common in America as it is in the UK. So that's number one. I would have never, ever said fab before. We do have a show, the Netflix show Queer Eye. They call them the Fab Five.
Yeah, I mean, you have the Fab Four, the Beatles, Yeah, I understand that part, but that's the only way you'd use it in America is if you were describing the Beatles. And I don't know about Queer Eye, but the Beatles of Fab Four.
So in some instances, I can think of maybe a couple examples where you would say fab for fabulous, but not in the same like everyday way that people do in the UK. So I would have never so here's an example, if you're watching as an American, of what I mean. If I say, hey, can you meet me at 7? And the person says, yeah, I can meet you at 7, see you there. I might respond, fab, or fabulous. I really don't think I would have said that in America. Again, I would have said...
You wouldn't have said that in America. You would not have said fab in America in any way, shape, or form. That is not something you would say in the United States.
Something like I've mentioned before, great, awesome, cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what you say. Okay, see you there. Good, nice to see you, can't wait. That's about it. You wouldn't go, oh, that's fab.
I wouldn't have said fab. I wouldn't have said fabulous. In response to that, I just... It's part of our language, but not in the exact same way and frequency as it is in the UK. The next one is hiya. Hiya.
Now, hiya, I guess that's your way of saying hi, but it's the only thing I can think of. But that's not something we say in the United States at all. I've never heard hiya. Just like mooch.
Never in my entire life in America have I said hiya. Never will I say it, because it's not really something that we say as a greeting. Here in the UK, it's like an informal greeting. Hiya. I say it a lot.
It's hello, hey, yo, things like that. We say in the United States, but never hiya.
I say it a lot, and it's only been in the past couple years that I started picking it up, since my nephew started learning to talk, and one of the first things that he said was hiya. And since then, I have not been able to shake it. I now am a hiya person. And it just is not a greeting that I had ever used in the US or would ever go back to the US and say, but here in the UK, I say hiya. The next word is dodgy. Dodgy meaning something is like broken or like not that great, or...
Yeah, that's something we don't say in the United States at all. I've never heard dodgy before.
Or a little bit suspect.
Well, maybe I've heard it before, but I don't know that I would ever say it.
Really is not a word I had ever used in America in that same context. I'm trying to think. What context would I have used dodgy in America? I really don't think I would have said it. I would have said, like, you can dodge something, you can dodge out of the way.
Even that you don't use. You just get out of the way. You wouldn't say dodge.
Like dodgeball.
Yeah, dodgeball is a game we play, but that's about it.
Would I say dodgy? No, I don't think so. So in the UK, I have adopted dodgy, and I do say it fairly regularly. The next one is the word proper. And not...
Now, proper is a word that we use on rare occasions, but certainly not as much they probably use it in the UK.
The word proper to mean somebody who has good manners. That, I think, is the way I would have said it in America. But proper, as a word that goes before something, to say, well, let's go through this together. So if I were asking you for the best place to get like fish and chips, you might say like, oh, you can get like proper fish and chips at blah 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 place, or like, oh, like I really want like a proper Sunday roast. Like the word proper meaning the real deal.
Yeah, again, that's not something we use in the United States a great deal. Not a big word on proper, except proper etiquette, things like that. But even that's very rarely used.
Maybe just like emphasizing the quality or the authenticity of that thing. I think that's about what it means. Would have never said this in America, but here in the UK, I do say it a lot. The next word is quite. British people love the word quite.
Quite often, yeah, I mean, on occasion, but not often.
Everything is quite this or quite that, quite good, quite bad, quite whatever. We could do a whole video on this word in particular, and we might. That might be interesting. So just know that Americans don't use the word quite so much. as they do here in the UK. So I've
Yeah, that's something we don't use a lot. I mean, yeah, we know the word, we do use it, but certainly not as often as they do in the UK.
definitely adopted the excessive use of the word quite. And the final word that I do say that I didn't used to say in this way is brilliant. This kind of...
Yeah, that, again, if you see the Harry Potter, or read the Harry Potter books, you see he says brilliant very often. Now, we use the word brilliant on occasion, but not as much as they use it in the UK.
It goes along with like the fab or fabulous. I would say in the US, the word brilliant is really used to refer to like intelligence. So you would call somebody brilliant who's really smart. That's about it. Here in the UK, brilliant is an affirmation of, again, it's always about making plans for me, but if somebody says, oh yes, can you hang out tomorrow? Yes, I can. Brilliant. Or people say brill.
It's used as a slang in the UK more than it is in the United States. It's certainly not something I say, oh, brilliant, if we're going to hang out or something like that.
So it's just an affirmation of something like, oh, that's brilliant. Like, that's awesome. In America, we'd say that's awesome, that's fantastic, whatever it is. But I've definitely adopted the use of the word brilliant in the UK to mean other things besides somebody's intellectual capacity. Okay. The next part of this video, which will be a little bit faster because we won't go through every single word and why I've chosen not to use that word, because it's not that I've made an active decision to not use these words. I haven't picked them up, and sometimes I think that I'll sound dumb as an American saying these words. Here we go. Chuffed, meaning...
If I do these individually, I've never heard the word chuffed. Do not know what that means.
Excited about something.
Okay, that's excited about something. If I'm excited about something, I'll tell you I'm excited about it, but I'm not going to say I'm chuffed.
I'm chuffed. I don't say it. Never said it. Knackered, meaning tired.
Knackered means tired. Yeah, I've used that on occasion, but not very often.
Very common to say this in the UK. Just has not transferred over to me yet. I feel like a fraud if I'm saying.
Yeah, if I'm tired, I just tell you I'm tired. I'm not gonna say I'm knackered.
And knackered, it's too far outside of what I would have said before to make me feel like I'm being my authentic self. Quid,
which is money, isn't it? Quid. Yeah, that instead we just say dollars, okay, or $5. We don't say quid.
Which is kind of interesting that I don't say quid. I will really only say pounds. I really couldn't picture myself saying, oh, like you owe me 10 quid. And I don't know why that is. I do say bucks in the US as slang.
Yeah, that's what we see in the United States is bucks. It's not quid.
I say pounds here. I will say like tenner as a slang for like a 10-pound note, but I don't say quid. Loo.
That's the bathroom, the restroom. You go into the loo. That's something I've never ever used. I know what it means, but I've never ever used it at all. I don't say
it. Bloke.
Bloke is a dude or a friend. Yeah, not a word I use.
So inauthentic coming from me. I do not say the word bloke. Cheers.
Yeah, that's again. You say cheers. It's a way of saying goodbye. I don't say cheers. I've never. Maybe I'll say it when I'm in the UK this week, but I don't think I have ever used cheers.
A lot of Americans in the UK will try and adapt to the culture by saying cheers. And Americans, I'm not meaning cheers as in like cheersing, like at dinner or something. Cheers as in thank you. Very, very common.
Or goodbye or thank you. I thought it was goodbye, but maybe thank you. I said I've never been to the UK, so I don't know how you properly to use cheers.
And to say in the UK, I feel like a fraud. Can't say it. Don't say it. It's just not natural to me.
It's not natural to me either.
Ones, gutted, cheeky.
Gutted is upset or disappointed. Cheeky is, well, I use it sort of football. Very cheeky goal or a cheeky play that he made.
And mate. Don't say any.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's a friend.
Those. They've maybe one day, maybe in 10 more years' time, some of those will transfer to my list, but for now, it doesn't feel right. So that brings me to the end of this video. I think I'm a little bit in the middle when it comes to how much I've adopted in terms of British slang or British words. I have spent a lot of time working with Americans in the UK, and because of this channel and because of what I do, I still am very involved in like researching American culture, and my closest friends are all still American. I say still
So basically, you're still using American slang to talk to things because that's what they use.
American, like they're changing. They're still American. They haven't changed their citizenship yet. No, my closest friends are obviously the people that I've grown up with in the U.S. So I speak to a lot of Americans. So maybe that kind of explains why some things I've picked up, some things I haven't.
You certainly haven't picked up a British accent if you've lived there for 10 years.
I hope you found this video interesting. Leave a comment down below which of the words that I don't say or do say surprised you the most, or maybe you didn't know that we don't say the same thing in the...
No, I got that. You know, I'm going to be in London on Thursday, and I'll be using this is basically things I'll be learning. But okay, 7 British words I picked up after 10 years in the UK as an American. This is Girl Gone London. Please click like, share, and subscribe for her as well as for me. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day.